Good morning. I am Edgar Owen Barrientos Delgado. Pretrial detention deprive a person you allegedly committed an offense of liberty is a measure that a control judge can choose which seeks to guarantee the presence of the accused in court, the development of the investigation, the protection of the victim, witness, or the community. It's, it is implying crime such as abuse or sexual violence against minors, organized crime, international homicide, uh, femicide, rape, kidnapping, human trafficking, robbery of the dwelling house. They are two types. Justify. Justify pretrial detention is a precautionary measure in which, based on a series of the indication, it can be concluded that the rules of the accused would imply risk to the administration of justice. Informal patrial detention is a precautionary measure applied when other measures are not sufficient to ensure the presence of the accused at trial, the development of the investigation, the protection of the victim, witness, or the community. However, informal pretrial detention may not exceed 2 years and may only be extended if the accused in exercising his right to defense. If after 2 years there is no sentences, the accused will be released. The process will continue anew. Measures will be imposed. Difference justify for the sake of justice, informal measure to comply with the process. That's all for me.
What condition do people in pretrial detention live in? Based on data from the 2021 National Survey on the Population Deprived of Liberty, also allows knowing the condition in which people live within the space and show that people who are in preventive detention experience different deprivation and situation of violence. They are no warrants access to basic items, menstrual management products, medicines, or medical care and prison. This problem became more acute with the impact on the pandemic on the lives of people deprived of the liberty. According to the Modi Notebooks of National Penitentiary Statistical Information, 2020 and 2021 are the years with the highest number of deaths of people deprived of liberty since 2000. In the tested 2 years, 1,859 people deprived of liberty lose their lives, of which 510 were in preventive detention. That is to say, 3 out of 10 people who died between 2020 and 2021 did not yet have a sentence. Who are the people who are in the medical detention? Based on data from the 2021 National Survey on the population deprived of liberty, we can learn the basic sociodemographic characteristics of the TC people, such as their age, schooling, income level, occupation, indigenous or Afro descendants, self-identification, among others. The result of the survey should show that for the most part those are in Mexican prison without sentence are young people. Approximately 50 your point on the percent of they are under 35 years of age. A figure that contrasts with the national adult population where 39% is under 35 years of age and approximately 30% in over 50 years of age. Likewise, when it comes to educational level, people with less education are overrepresented among these segment on the population with people with high education and underrepresented.
Who does this affect women? Finally, it is essential to hide the impact that provision detention has on the obligation to hide a gender perspective and on the woman. Informal prepaid detention is a mechanism that prevents such from analysis concrete gas. This obligates them to impose this major impulse because of the crimen of with the individuals were charm of indebted. In this sense, a first affection of informal presentation is that by preventing judging, it's preventing judging with a gender perspective. On the undergym, older women represent the minority of those the prison greater proportion of them are in detention. However, what is most horizon is that of the total number of crimes attributed to women in detention, a high percent corresponded to crimes that merit informal detention compared to men. Therefore, informal detention allow women to be disproportional imprisonment.
How does pretrial detention impact families? Pretrial detention not only directly affects the persons deprived of their liberty, it also indirectly affects the people, mainly women, who visit them, bring them food, water, and other basic items. That they lack inside the prisons, this usually represent an extra burden for people who have children on other depends to take care of. By especially exploring the ample data on visits made to people in pretrial detention, we can learn how often they are made, the cost of each visit, and who are the people who accompany the prison population. Mothers account the 36.6% of the people who receive them, followed by their partners with 28.7%. Also, the majority, uh, 53.7%, are visited from the same city where they reside. One third indicate that their family members to travel a different location, and almost the 10% indicate that they have to travel from another entity. As the amount of money spent per visit, almost the 40% report that their relatives spend of 500 per visit. The remaining, the 16% spent more than this amount, and almost quarter need between 100 and 500 pesos, while the 11% spend more than 500 pesos per visit. Separating the responses by gender of those in pretrial detention, it turns out visits to men on average cost will for women. The expenditure increased too in terms of frequency. The majority of the population, 58.8%, indicated that they receives visit or once or twice a month. About a third answered that they were visited 3-4 times a month, and only the 8.2% say they had visits more than 5 times a month. These data show that the impact is not only on the person who is accused of committing a crime, but expands to their families, affecting entire communities, especially women, to perform covering tasks within them.
Conclusion. The purpose of the report is to provide relevant information on private detention in Mexico, including the number of people in private detention, their social demographic, profile, and the condition in which their life in prison. In addition, it was to show that private detention has social, economic, and health costs for the family of the people private of their liberty. Finally, the note was provide on the disproportionate impact that this mechanism has on women private of their liberty. Beyond the implication of the Mexican constitutional system relief in words discussed. The death confirmed that the legal discussion. There are people who live and suffer the well effects under arbitrary nature of the informal pretrial detention. In this end, there are two options. The first is to violate an emerged incorporation mechanism that affects the life of the people in vulnerable situations, as the data present above demonstrate. In other words, one can choose to incarcerate first and investigate later, but there is another possible which implies putting people's rights at the center and taking serious the principle that govern the aversive criminal process and the system of protection of human rights in the country inserted whereas were in the discussion and the party that chosen